This time on Movie Reviews, we're going to be looking at the new film, Creed 2. Creed 2 was directed by Caple Jr. and stars Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson, and Dolph Lundgren, and follows the story of Adonis Creed. He is now the heavyweight champion of the world and has a lot on his shoulders. He's a bit cocky, and soon he gets involved with the Dragos. Ivan Drago returns from Rocky IV and wants his son to face up against Adonis Creed to basically save his family name. And this match really hits home for Adonis, as Ivan Drago was the man who killed his father in the ring. I was a bit late to the game when seeing Creed. I didn't see it when it was initially in theaters and caught up on it only last year when I got Amazon Prime. It was on there. And after watching it, I hate that I missed out on this movie when it originally came out. This was a very good breath of fresh air. It did everything that the Rocky movies had already done, but it had so much going for it. It had a solid script and some incredible acting from Michael B. Jordan and especially Sylvester Stallone. That was a really solid movie. So, going into the sequel was a little interesting. I didn't think they needed a sequel, but I was interested to seeing what they would do. I thought that it was cool that Sylvester Stallone was going to be writing. He had written all the previous Rocky movies, but I was really worried that this film would just not be as good at all, and I was pleasantly surprised. This was a fantastic film and a solid follow-up to Creed 1. This film focuses a lot on Adonis's family life, with him getting recently married to Bianca, Tessa Thompson's character, and they're expecting a child, and there's some worries going into that, wondering if the child is going to be able to hear or not, because Tessa Thompson's character is basically deaf in the ear, and there's a lot of fears going into that, and it's really good drama for this film. He's got his family while he's also trying to avenge his father and just trying to remain the heavyweight champion. It's really good. But where I think this film really shines, in a place I never thought I would see, is with the Drago family. Ivan Drago and his son have a interesting relationship with each other, and they're played beautifully by two really good actors. I'm not exactly sure who is playing his son, but of course we've got the return of Dolph Lundgren as Ivan Drago, and this film focuses a lot on them. They've basically become outcasts because of the outcome of the match back in Rocky IV. He's basically an outcast in his own country, and he's betting on this one match with Adonis Creed that maybe his family can be saved and their name can mean something again. And because a lot of stuff has happened in between this time, Ivan Drago's wife has left him and his son, and I just really like this angle, and they make him so much more human and down to earth. He's not just a evil guy like he was in Rocky IV. He's a real person, and Dolph Lundgren gives a really good performance, the best performance I've seen out of him. He's very good. And also Sylvester Stallone is fantastic once again. I felt like he got robbed of an Oscar win when he was nominated for the first Creed movie, and he does an excellent job here. He's just so likable and charismatic and gives some really good speeches in the film. Tessa Thompson's great. Everyone's really great in the film. Now, with Caple Jr. taking over the reins from Ryan Coogler, it was really interesting seeing what he could bring to the table and what would change. And honestly, he holds his own with this film. This film doesn't feel like a Ryan Coogler film, but it feels in the same vein of the first film. It's definitely got its own style, and I really like that. There's parts of this film that are beautiful. The scenes in the ring are shot beautifully, and it's just really excellent filmmaking here. Stephen Caple Jr. did an excellent job with this film, taking on such a big task after having just a few smaller films under his belt. This was a really big step up for him. And of course, this film has the boxing matches you come to see. It has the montages you love watching in these movies. This film doesn't stray that far from the traditional Rocky formula. It's very much just another Rocky film, but it's a really good Rocky film. This is excellently written, directed, and acted, and that's what's really impressive about it. Because, let's face it, with boxing movies, you know how this is all going to turn out. You know what's going to happen beat for beat, but you don't care because you're wrapped up in the story, the characters, and you're just having a really good time. I will say that though this film is really good, it never quite hits the level of just greatness that the first film had. It's really good in places, and in some places even succeeds the original in some respects, but it definitely is not as good or refined as the first one, but it's a really good, solid sequel that I'm glad we honestly got. We didn't need this, but we got it, and I'm glad to say it was really good. And the last bit of the film had me in tears because emotions run high during the final acts of these movies, and this was a really good film overall. Guys, I'm going to give Creed 2 an 8 out of 10. This was a really good film, and I'm glad I was able to see it. Even if it doesn't hold up as well as the first Creed film, it's still an excellent sequel. But anyway, guys, with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.